Hey there, everyone. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Some of my students have asked me how I draw people because apparently that's something that's really difficult. It is difficult. So I'm going to go over a few things on how I draw people. I've done a few of these before, and I sort of sped through how it works. So this time I'm going to take it really slow. All right. So in order to start drawing, first of all, you need to think about what kind of a person are you trying to draw? What's going to be their look, their face? I'm gonna show you how a face is constructed. Sort of teach you the rules so that you can break the rules. And I've talked about this before, but in order to teach the rules, first thing you have to understand is that people have a skeleton inside. So you're going to have certain skull characteristics that are going to show up in whatever you draw. Whether it's this side view, you're going to have a longer forehead. Humans are one of the only, here's the bridge of the nose, one of the only animals that has a chin. Okay? And then the chin goes up and it comes back and that forms a skull. Now, lots of people in this world, not everyone has the same skull. Some people's skulls are not quite so pronounced. So they don't have this square jaw. They have more of a sloped jaw, and some of them have a very flat back to their head and sloping up. Some have a very square head, and some of them have a very bulbous head, especially children. Children are going to have a lot of like skull capacity and not as big for the rest of the head. All right, so it doesn't have as much length. So if you think about this as your base, you're going to have that bulbous part here, and then it's going to come out for these cheekbones, because everyone has cheekbones that are different sizes. It's going to come out for your cheekbones and then back down again. And whether it comes down at this angle or this angle, that's up to you. Now, where those cheekbones are, that's also going to be where the eye sockets are. So I'm going to put those eye sockets in. And then the nose is going to be in here, and then we're going to have the upper jaw that connects up to here, the lower jaw, right? Like that. I'm not going to go and draw a full skull because of reasons. All right. So if you look at this, if this is your skull, and then you've got like your vertebrae that come down here, and then you're going to have your clavicle, the collarbone that comes over here, and then there's all of these muscles that connect, because we have a lot of neck muscles that come right in here. There are some that come down here and then over across. Here, over across. You have muscles that come down here. There's some in the back that go like this. Okay. But still, the basic skull shape is pretty much going to be what your head is made of, is this shape here. So let's take a look. If this is the top of the skull, this is the bottom of the skull, you can see the eyebrow line is almost right in the middle. Now, depending on who you're drawing and how you want to draw it, whether it's more realistic or cartoony, this can go up or down. You can move it, all right? And then the nose, okay, if this is the bridge of the nose, okay, this is where the nasal cavity is going to go in. The nose is going to come down to about here, okay? And that is right about halfway between the eyes and the chin. Again, different on different people. Sometimes it's going to be further up, sometimes it's going to be further down. Sometimes you want to have a really long nose for cartoon reasons. If you have a character that's needs to be very distinctive with a super long nose, you can do that too. All right? But again, learn the rules so you can break the rules. Then the mouth, the actual where the teeth meet, is right in here, and that's again halfway between you know, the bottom of the nose here and the chin. This one's a little bit less than half, but again, move it up or down a little bit. But they should stay somewhere in this relation. Now, you think, wow, that's a huge forehead, but it isn't a forehead. And if you look at people, we have a forehead, yes, but starting right around here, we have fur. And that fur comes off of our heads and comes down into a mane. How about that? Okay? So remember that this is, people do have big foreheads. I mean, human beings just do. It's one of the traits of being a human. So you're going to have to deal with it. And if you want to do more realistic drawing, you know, maybe not hyper realistic, but know where the forehead is and give people a forehead. If you want, you can have it covered with hair if you want, but it should actually be about that big. Now, let's go on a new page. What do we do? How do we take all of that and put it into a face? All right, well, we're going to start here. Shape of the head. Okay? I'm not holding it like this because I need to see what I'm doing. And I'm not going like this because that doesn't matter. I'm going to be changing all this anyway. I'm holding at the end of the pencil so I can see where I'm going and make sure that it's about even on both sides. And because we want it even on both sides, we're going to put a line down in the middle. And this is going to be one of our guidelines to kind of show us the two sides. Now, about halfway through, again, we're going to put our line out, our line for the eyes. Now, this is the eyebrow line, okay? It's not the eyes that are going on there. It's the eyebrow. Okay? Just so that you know. That's our eyebrow line. Halfway down, there's going to be a nose line. Halfway down, there's our mouth line. And already we're seeing this as a face, right? Next thing you got to know is that the ears are actually, if you put eyes in here, and I'm just going to put some simple almond shapes. If you look at people's ears, they generally go from the eyes to the nose. So I'm going to put a couple of ears in here just to be placeholders for the moment, and we can fix them later how you want. But you can see already the proportions are pretty good there, right? For the nose, it'll dip down, it'll come out, it'll go down, it'll come straight, it'll be crooked, it'll be whatever you want kind of nose it is. But then the eyes and the mouth are also related. So if I go here and I say, all right, this is my drawing, and I'm going to put the eyes in here. Now, the corners of the mouth are going to be kind of lined up with the centers of the eyes. All right, if they're looking straight at you. Just as a rule of thumb. Again, people have different shaped mouths. You can make it smaller if you want. I do give my drawings lips. Unless they're very specifically someone who doesn't have lips. And then of course you need the lower lip, and that's going to go underneath here. Okay, so now I've got a floating head, basic head floating in space. I'm going to give him some age by putting in a few lines. I'm going to square off the jaw just a little bit. Another neat trick that a lot of artists do is they do this and then they come down on the side, but you know, depends on who you're drawing. All right, so next we need a neck. The neck comes down from the ears, so let's just draw some lines that come straight down from the ears. And I told you there's this muscle, it's called the Sternocleidomastoid, and it comes down here, and there's a sternum in your skeleton. The part in the middle here that connects your rib cage will come off of it, and it's also connected to your clavicle. That's called the sternum. It's like right in the middle. You can feel where it starts. If you put your fingers, follow your neck down, and then you hit like a hard part, and that's your sternum. All right, and that's going to come down here. These are going to come down and attach to that. Okay? Then you also have a muscle that comes down from the back of the ear and back of the neck. So you have the trapezius muscle here. Anyway, and then this will go into shoulders. Okay, you want to make sure that these are in here, but they're not going to be super pronounced. So I'm not going to, if I colored this or if I inked it, I wouldn't have this be completely black, dark lines. I would just kind of hint that it's there, maybe by shading, you know, shading here and then just having a part that's not shaded. Okay. So then, you know, you can just make sure that it is there, that you have something, or you know where it is, even if you don't want to draw it. Maybe he's wearing a high collar. That doesn't matter. Okay, next. Hair. What we're going to do is we're going to find about the halfway up point here. And that's going to be the hair. Now, we have a couple of other things that you need to keep in mind. The corner of the eye is sort of where the head turns. All right, so this is going to be turning to the back. This is going to be in the front. So this is going to be turning to the back. And then under the cheekbone is also where it's going to turn to the back, like here. All right, so when you're shading or when you're drawing, make sure that you understand where these are. And there's a little bit of a shape to the brow also. Men, it's a little more pronounced that it comes out. Okay, so now we have hair, and the hair is going to start about halfway up. He's going to have short hair just because I kind of want to show you how to do this. All right. The hair on humans comes down over our ears. Like that. Okay. So that's the front view, just a basic overview and how to draw. Of course, all of this needs to come with practice. Nobody ever does anything right the first time, not 100%. And even I don't do things 100% right because, you know, I'm also human. So take this, watch the video, go practice, watch it again, practice some more. And then next time I will show you how to do like a 3/4 view or a side view. All right, keep drawing.